It's all one big lie.
So, we've been in lockdown now for 2 days, 3 weeks, 4 months, 25 years, who knows. I was going to make a little joke about all the power being off because of the lockdown, you know, because I've not got any money, because the government won't give us any money. You're furlonged, what's that mean? I'm a fucking horse. But it's atmospheric, you see, because I've got candles, connels, on this very special 4 years into lockdown episode of Cinema Slurs. I did something unprecedented. I watched 2 films with a connection tonight, one after another, on Netflix, and they've both got the word mercy in their name. Now, you would think these must be smash hits. These must be 2 of the best films one has ever seen. But you'd be shocked to know that they're not. They're both piles of shite. Carlsberg and lockdown. So, the first film I saw, and I've got pages of notes because my memory's shit. My memory's a lot worse after being in lockdown, not knowing what time of day or year it is. It feels like being a character in a horror film that's possessed by something. So I watched Welcome to Mercy, which is a horror film that got relatively good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. It got 70%. ANBB, it got 4.8 out of 10. They're all over the place, but I read some of the critic reviews. I even read Roger Ebert's review on it. And he had some good things to say about this. And I thought, even the other sort of reviewers I saw on IMDb, the critics' reviews were like, oh, I love the atmosphere and the pacing, and oh, it was such a good way of doing possession. Basically, it's like a woman gets possessed by a demon, like Exorcist style, but it's told in a very different way, in a very, very interesting new novel way that doesn't bore you to tears. And the first thing I want to say is, very much like this video, the film's pitch black, not with Vin Diesel, but it's so dark, it's like watching black. It's like being the guy on the fucking Fast Show.
Yes, it's very dark, isn't it? It's almost black.
Johnny?
Yes, I shall need to get the black out.
Johnny?
Yes, black. 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 Like the clouds of death.
Everything's just black. There's very few glimpses where it turns to daytime after a necessary dream sequence, which is a key thing that happens in both these films. It happens a couple of times. When the film first opened, I thought the music was great. I thought the opening little intro music-y bit was good. Other than that, that's my one positive I will say. From then on it just goes down, 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 downhill into a big black well. It's ironic.
Hey, Madeline, there's only one way out.
You will find what you need if you look deep enough.
Anyway, so who is it? So it's 1 hour and 43 minutes, which is very, very long for, I didn't even get the production company down. Very, very long for a horror movie pile of shite on Netflix. Usually they're under an hour and a half, like the other film on tonight's list, chopping block. So it stars Kirsten Ruhlin, R-U-H-L-I-N, as Madeline, who's the main character. The main characters in both films kind of look similar-ish. There was kind of like pale, black-haired women. I'll put pictures up of them, they look kind of similar. And she's the main character and the writer of it, so I don't know if this is some sort of vanity project. I looked her up, and she's not in very much, but she's in this, and she wrote this, and because it's the same with both these films. They're just fucked onto Netflix or Amazon. There's no way for the mere 5 to 6 minutes I looked online to try and find out what the budget was for these films. I couldn't find anything. So who knows what the budget was. But, you know, it seems relatively well shot, even though that the camera's still got the fucking lens protector on the front and fucking half the film. What is the plot of Welcome to Mercy? In Latvia, I think? With her daughter. She goes with her daughter to go meet her mother in Latvia, and I'm trying to piece this all together. I only saw this film. I mean, it's very, very late right now. It's even into Tuesday morning as we speak. I can see the sun rising in the east. But she goes with her daughter to meet her mother because she wants to see her dying dad. There's a big plot twist about that coming at the end of the film. We'll get to that later. To see her dying dad, and then she sort of has like a sort of like, her mum doesn't want to see her, and the daughter makes a line like, you can give me things on parenting when I'll take advice from parenting a woman who didn't abandon her child, or a woman that abandoned her child or something. And you're like, oh great. And
here, I don't need parenting advice from a woman who abandoned her child.
I did not abandon you.
it's so slow. And people, the critics' reviews I read about this were like, oh yeah, it's really, really good, slow paced, isn't it? But it's not like Better Call Saul. It's not like where slow paced is good and like every passing second you're gripped with tension. You have to fucking tear the fucking couch away like the boy in fucking The Prodigy because you're that excited.
Tell me the name of the person inside you. Tell me the name. Tell me the name. Heisenberg. You're goddamn right.
It's just bland and uninteresting. And she goes there, and then she's a sort of flashback nightmare scene, what she thinks a nightmare scene. I don't know if I'll do spoilers or non-spoilers for these. And she goes to this old barn house, because when she walks in she sees a barn, there's like some weird noises. And she goes across to this barn in the middle of the night, and she falls down a well. And then she wakes up outside the barn where the thing's locked, and she's lying on the ground like, oh help me as well. And then she's another episode where she like flies about the room and like tries to grab her daughter, and like she gets attacked by something and spins about like she's been possessed by something, and there's big holes in her feet but they're not really there, and you're like and then because she's a danger to her child, she gets sent to this convent, this nuns convent called Mercy Convent, and a nun does say at some point, "Welcome to Mercy," the tagline of the film, or the name of the film. And from there all the other nuns are looking at her and think, oh, there's something wrong with her. Oh, we need to, and then the Mother Superior, I keep trying to call her Mother Superiorum from Suspiria, which is a much far greater film that's slow paced, that's amazing. Even the new one, I prefer the new one to the old one personally.
Three mothers, pre-God, pre-Devil, Mother Tenebrarum, Mother Lacrimarum, and Mother Suspiriorum. Darkness, tears, and sighs.
Sorry, I got distracted talking about Suspiria there. So she gets sent to this convent, and she meets this sort of ginger-haired girl who, what's her name? It's August, who's played by Lily Newmark, who I recognise from something, but I don't know what it was. I tried to search her up, and I was trying to think, she looks like the girl, and I could be completely off because I didn't even search who the girl was in this. She looks like the girl from A Cure for Wellness, but they're probably completely different people.
Ret Marut.
This ginger girl who's a nun, who's like this cheeky, funny one at the nunnery, and everybody else is all very serious and stoic and such and such. And she sort of befriends her and speaks to her, and Mother Superior tries to like get through to what's causing her to have these episodes or whatever. And that's basically the film without spoilers. We'll go into spoilers. Oh God, it was such a long, drawn out film. There's so much of it's to do with, like, there's a well, and there's flashbacks, and there's like things to do with her childhood, and you don't know if she's been like raped by somebody, or if like the priest at the start like raped her, or he's got the cross that he gave her, or, and you don't know if it's to do with like something happened in the well, because she keeps having flashbacks or visions to the well, and they keep talking about a lighthouse, and eventually she gets a key to go in the lighthouse, and like this all just sounds like incoherent rambling, but it's just what the film feels like. It's in the same way as the other film I'm going to talk about. Films these days that are horror films are never ever in order. Everything's all flashbacks. Everything's all dream sequences. It's like, oh, we're going to have a dream. We're going to think back to it. Oh, we're going to wake up. We're going to be somewhere else. Oh, there's a segue into a different scene. Oh, it's like, just do a film in order. Do it from the... I know it's so they can have a big plot twist. Oh, we've got a plot twist in our film. Yeah, every film's got a fucking plot twist. Just do it in order. Like fucking Bird Box. Pain in the fucking arse. Do the film in order so it makes more sense. Because someone who doesn't have the patience to sit and watch absolute pure shit, like me, would have turned it off. They would have been like, what's this, what's going on, what's she doing? And there's bits that are in the trailer where she's like covered in blood, and you think, oh, she's covered in blood, oh. And the bit at the start where her feet get cut in, like holes in her feet, and she's flinging about and there's got holes in her feet, you're like, ooh, ooh, what's this? This is a bit intriguing.
Danger is trapped inside you, Madeline, and we need to drag it out.
And this is all interspliced with like 45, fucking 50 minutes of just wandering about a nun's convent. Oh, is it a dream sequence? Oh, is she possessed? Oh, who knows? Who cares? You don't know what's fucking going on. You don't know what's fucking happening. She tries to phone her daughter from the nun's convent because she's been taken away from her daughter, obviously. But her mother won't let her speak to her daughter, and the nun's convent are like, oh, sometimes the lines are frozen, oh. So you're like, oh, are they all lying to her? Oh, is the nun's convent, are they all lying to her? They try to keep her there. They're trying to take her away from her daughter, and that's what the ginger hair girl keeps saying to her. But as I've said, this is spoilers, so it's all to do with the well. The well and the light, and the lighthouse? No fucking lighthouse, what's it called? COVID-19. Dear me, I'm alright. The lighthouse, the bell tower, not the fucking lighthouse. I'm obsessed with the fucking lighthouse movie. The bell tower. And there's a bit where she won't get to speak to her daughter, so she runs it into the night like she does about 400 times in the film. And she gets in a boat, and August, who's the ginger haired girl, stops her and she's like, oh, I'll save you from being frozen. This is another thing that I'll just jump in between stuff. I'll try and put it together at some point. There's a little kitten that August's got. She's got a little cat, a little kitten. She's like, oh, she was a stray, or she was an orphan or something. And you're like, right, okay. And then there's a bit where the main girl's called Madeline. There's a bit where she's like, oh, I heard the cat's cries coming from the well. And you expect there to be a bit. There's a bit where there's a little girl later on, I'll explain this. But there's a little cat on the bench, she's going, I was expecting her to kill the cat. Because they're saying, oh, the cat's meows are down the well. Which doesn't kill the cat. Usually in these films, like the next film we're going to talk about, which is on a par for being as shit as this, but mildly more entertainingly bad than boring, mediocre, watching paint dry bad, black paint dry bad. The animal, like the little cat's there, and they're like, oh, the cat's going to die, and then they reference it like, oh, there's a cat down the well, but that doesn't happen. The cat's just there for the sake of there being a cat, and you're like, what's the point? We didn't have the cat. Sorry, I got sidetracked there. Anyway, so eventually at some point she climbs down this well, wherever this well is. This will all become clear, don't worry. She climbs down this well and gets a key to go in this bell tower. And she goes in the bell tower, and there's a bit earlier on where she reads a book in the library and all the nuns are like taking the piss or something. They try and do like a blood trick, and There's so many various different things go into this, and you're like, oh, it hurts the brain even trying to think about it. She goes into the bell tower and she sees her mum, like, as a ghost, or a vision or something. Speaks to her and basically says, oh, the woman at the start and the dad who's dying at the start were a nun and a priest who've shagged each other and then started a relationship with each other. And this is the big major plot spoilers. Crazy plot spoilers that they are. So they started sleeping with each other, and then they ran away from the nuns' convent where the film takes place, Mercy Black Convent, Welcome to Mercy Black Convent, or whatever it's called. And they ran away with each other, and they were selfish, and they sinned. So something, God or something, possessed them and made them start shaking and having twitchy, like, vision, like, gone mental, like she was, like the main character Madeline was at the start of the film when she went Raj. So it cursed them with this, and they got a priest to come in and try and pass the curse between the two of them, so one of them could have it and the other one couldn't, and they were chained down to a bed or tied to a bed or whatever. But it also blessed them with Madeline, the daughter. But then eventually the curse got too strong, and then it infected the little girl. And we see flashbacks through the whole film, and you're like, oh, what's these flashbacks? Who's this man? Is he raping her? Is he doing something? Does he throw her down the well? I think he does throw her down the well. Or did he throw her down the well, or was that just, oh god. Confusing myself even talking about this, honestly. So yeah, so basically they had the child out of sin, and it got possessed by the demon because it was possessing them, and they were one after another trying to look after the little girl who was Madeline, her mum and dad, and that's why she had to be taken away by the priest, because if it was in her it would kill her, but if she was away from them it wouldn't infect her or something. And this is where you find out the major plot point of the entire film, which is at the top of the bell tower. The ginger-haired girl who befriends her, who's August, the girl with the white cat, is the demon inside her, and everything that's been happening in this Mercy Black Convent place is all just in her head. Everything that's happened has all just been the demon trying to control her, and the whole film she's just been strapped to the bed. Like when she has like her fit and she's strapped to the bed and the old priest's like saying blah blah blah, you need to stop this, and there's a bit of that when she actually at the very start where she somehow just like gets out, she's like escapes from like her shackles and runs about. But I think she just sort of like gets out of it, and then she's on her merry way off to the convent. Oh, I don't like water, etc. I don't make a very big point about that. There's a bit about when she says, oh, I don't really like water, and she goes in a boat, and you think, oh. So really it's basically just an exorcism movie, but the entirety, more or less 85-90% of the film takes place inside the woman's mind, which is in a dull, dingy nun's convent in her head, where the demon who's the ginger August girl tries to make her jump off the bell tower and kill herself, so that'll mean the demon's won the battle within herself or something. And you think, oh god, I'm tired even talking about it now. I don't even know how I'm going to get through talking about the next film. I know how. That's how. Thank you, Dragon Soup, for getting us through this lockdown period. Basically, our mum says this is when we've come back to reality now, and we're just back to Madeline in the bed, tied in with the old priest and our mum. And our mum's like, oh, take me, I'll die instead of her. Oh, and you're like, why would the demon not just do that anyway? If it could just take her anyway, why would it not just do that? Why would it take her instead of Madeline? So anyway, so it kills her, and then that's Madeline's back, and then they leave with her dad, who was dying at the start of the film, and then they get on a train and like, oh, we're a family again, oh, this is your granddaughter, blah blah blah, and they're on the train and there's a bit where there's a key for the bell tower that kind of looks like sort of like a diamond shape with like sort of lines at the end, basically like a midsummer table, and that August has got that on her arm, and that's the key for the bell tower, this symbol, it's got that on her arm, and as they're on the train at the end, the dad sort of looks a bit funny and puts his arm down, and he's got this mark on his arm, so is he the demon? The demon's been put into her dad? Is it all just still a fantasy and it's not even real? And then her dad sort of looks at the camera and he goes, he doesn't even make a noise, sort of looks, he's got the mark. So is it all still in a dream? Is it all still part of her like illusional fantasy of trying to get away from the demon? Is it not? Who fucking cares? What a lot of shite. Honestly, what a lot of shite. I'm gonna do this to myself. Sitting watching it to start with, I was like, oh, the sound design's quite good. I quite like some of the noises in it, but the acting was poor at best. I liked the German or Latvian like priest guy with the white hair at the start and at the end. What was his name? Father something? Father Ted Crilly. I can't remember his name. He was alright. Other than that, like there was no little to zero positives about it. The music was alright at the start. Other than that, it was just a steady fucking snowball downhill into like pure absolute shite. How it got reviewed so highly is fucking beyond me. Avoid Welcome to Mercy. Please. And as I sit here in the bomb shelter, that's all I can really say about Welcome to Mercy. It was a long, pointless, bleak, black, boring road into a stupid, pointless story about possession in the church that's been told a million times, but people were like, oh, it's been told from inside her head's point of view. Inside her head wasn't really that fucking interesting. It was shit. On the drinking scale of watching it, I wouldn't even go to the shop to buy it. I can't even go to the shop to buy it. I have to wait outside. See if they were selling Welcome to Mercy with a crate of dragon soup, and I was the next customer in line, and there's a person just at the till waiting to come out, I would just leave it and just go home, because it was that fucking boring. It's not worth the effort. Don't fucking watch it. It's shit.
You will find what you need if you look deep enough.
But as we're here in the bomb shelter, I'll segue into our next film. So after we say goodbye to Mercy, after we've welcomed Mercy, we say goodbye to Mercy and we welcome the top new horror film produced by Blumhouse, Mercy Black.
Something that is out there. You talk about her like she's real.
She's real enough.
This is for you! This is our offering to give you life! We're gonna do it! I promise!
Mercy Black, which, I wrote this down, was released with no advance notice on Netflix. That's how they released the film. We have no budget for it, we have no box office for it. It was released without notice. No one knew about it, no advertisement. Oh, there you go, Netflix, there you go, Mercy Black. Have it. It's shit. Director and writer Owen Egerton? It's difficult to see in the bomb shelter. I could turn the lights on, but you know, there's probably COVID-19 on the light switches. Bolivia Candlelight in the Convent. Produced by Blumhouse, as I said. It's 88 minutes. And where is the end of my notes? It says 88 minutes, but it's really an hour and 23 minutes 42 seconds by the time the credits fucking rolled. So I have so many notes on this. I hopefully won't have to go through them all. Main character is Daniela Pinda, or Pinita, whatever, as Maria Hess. She is in Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Jurassic Land, Land of the Jurassic Dawn of Parks film. The second new Jurassic Park with Chris Pine? Chris Hemsworth? Chris Pratt? Whoever's in them. She's in one of them. Black-haired girl. She's terrible. Everybody in this film's terrible. It's also got there's a black-haired lady who like I was trying to work out who for the life of me. She's like the psychologist woman in the sort of like mental hospital place. She's like some black-haired woman from Seinfeld as a comedian, but I've seen her in something else. And I was trying to look it up on Wikipedia, and I couldn't think what it was that I'd seen her in. Anyway, they're in it. Under an hour and a half, so you know it's going to be shit. It's by Blumhouse, so you've got a 99.99% chance of it being shit as well. IMDb 4.9 out of 10. That's far too high. Rotten Tomatoes 40%. 40% too much, I think. Another bog standard pile of absolute shite horror movie. Right. So what's the basis of this? Have you seen Slender Man or know about the Slender Man thing in Milwaukee? That's basically this. The writers basically got this idea of Slender Man, and he's cobbled together stolen Slender Man and turned it into something that's just a pile of sheets and a paper mache mask and called it Mercy Black, and tried, use that word sparingly, to make a horror film out of it. And it's got all the usual tropes. There's the scene where somebody's in a bath and somebody's sitting there and oh, somebody's poked her hair, oh my god, it's a finger. Oh, there's somebody come up at the bath, oh, they've nursed my finger, oh my god, she's dreaming, oh my god. We get that every single time I watch a fucking film, I'm so sick of it. They have a dream sequence where it's a dream. It's not anything to do with the film, it's just there to fill in time to make it a jump scare, to make it a scary bit, but it's not even part of anything because it's just a dream. So you filled in maybe what, 2-3 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, and if you can do that subsequently throughout a film, happens a lot of times in, as I'll say, Shut In, which is a bit later on in this film, references to that, or is kind of like that. That film's just 100% like dream sequences. Oh, I'm asleep. Oh, something bad happens. Oh, I'll wake up. Oh, something bad happens. Oh, Jesus Christ! And you're like, they're not even like part of the film. They're just dreams. They're not even real. What's scary about that? It's been a long enough day, long enough night. Our sleeping patterns are all fucked in the Bleak and Gums household. And we go to bed really early in the morning and get up really late in the afternoon. But you try to justify it when you're like, oh, I'll try and get a better sleeping routine, but then you kind of like to the point, you're like, oh, what's the point? We're all locked down anyway, you can't do fuck all. What are you going to do? Sit in the garden? Go down the park? Stay in the park for a wee bit longer than you want to? Have a can of beer? Get shot by the police? You better do. She gets like released, like she's doing really well, and then she gets released into the care or into like her sister's like big sort of weird like creepy old wooden house. Why do they always have these houses? They always have these houses in the middle of nowhere. They're always like big old crappy like rundown sort of homes. It's strange. Must just be cheap to film with them. And you find out that she basically, like the Slender Man story, her and one of her friends got this other girl and like cut her finger off and tried to like sacrifice her to Mercy Black, who's like an imaginary, spoilers, an imaginary like made up thing that they made up to try and get over her mum dying, and she needed something to think about, something to look after her because she was a child and children's imaginations run wild. Oh, it's just imaginary, it was just made up, blah blah. And her sister has got a little boy called Bryce, and from there she's also got a boyfriend who kind of looks like the guy from, well, one of the guys from Tiger King. The guy doesn't give a fuck about how many wives Doc Antwood's got. Annoys me talking about the Tiger King now because it's a reference I was going to make when I was going to do this like weeks ago, when I saw this film weeks ago. I've rewatched this. I've rewatched Mercy Black. That's how bad times are. The Tiger King's all popular, you can't even go and fucking anything without seeing 55,000 memes about it. Good show though. And so, much like Welcome to Mercy, this film's kind of shot like flashbacky type things. It's back to like our childhood. They're sort of connected in a way and they're both called Mercy. It's so good. I'm surprised they've not fucked up the names of them yet. Moves in with her sister. Her sister's got like a sort of dick boyfriend from the Tiger King. And
Must feel pretty good to be out, huh? You must think about it though, right?
I don't really remember.
2 friends lure a girl into the woods, stab her 7 times, all for Mercy Black.
Can you please not say that name?
he is a true crime buff, as we find out. And he sort of gets a bit rapey in one scene. And he wants to try and, because Mercy Black's viral, it's very popular now, the story of Mercy Black, which is just the story of Slender Man. And as the film progresses, we are not sure if Mercy Black, critically acclaimed Mercy Black, is real or is not real, because it kind of influences the little boy, Bryce. And you think, oh, is Mercy Black going to file into him as all mental illness? Is it real? Is it not real? Oh my god. The tension. So let's just go through my notes. This is spoilers now. So the weird hillbilly boyfriend Tiger King man sort of makes her drink 45 gallons of wine in a big glass. Sits and speaks to her and he's like, oh, Mercy Black's viral, blah blah blah. And eventually she doesn't really know what the internet is. And her sister lied to her son saying, oh yeah, my sister was at art college. But really she's not been at art college, she's been in the mental hospital or something. And where she stabbed her friend 7 times. That's what he says. And Mercy Black went viral because of copycat crimes and things like that. You think you would have told that woman that? I think you would have maybe said that to her, considering that she was part of it. And there's a bit where they sort of slam like a sort of like scarecrow man through the wall, calling her like a psycho bitch, because like, oh, people in the town are against it, oh, she's evil, don't want this woman living near me, don't want her living here in these near parts. There's loads of like wandering around at night in the big creepy house, and there's like a door at the top of the stairs, a little cupboard that opens, and someone's little arm pokes out, and you're like, oh my god, is that real? Is it part of her psychological makeup? Is she mad? Is she still mad? Does she need to go back to the hospital? Is it real? Is Mercy Black real? Oh god.
Did she? She wasn't real. All these people were frightened. How can she not be real?
And there's a bit where, after we have the thing swing through the window and a thing on it that says psycho bitch, the sister just leaves her on her own in the house and she looks up a video on YouTube about how to sand the stairs. And this is a thing I'll talk to about Welcome to Mercy and Mercy Black, where there's a bit in Welcome to Mercy where like something happens and it cuts, fades away, and it cuts like very quickly to like somebody like sawing wood or chopping wood. It's like, oh, jump scare, ooh. And this is the exact same thing, where it's like they're walking around or something happens and then it cuts very quickly to like somebody like sanding wood, and you're like, oh, the subtleties. They're intertwined. Mercy, welcome to Mercy Black. And there's a library woman who is, I think, in Bryce's school. Bryce is the little boy of the sister, who like takes a sort of keen interest in him, and he's like, what's Mercy Black? And she says, she's like, oh, I do what most librarians do and we don't know anything. I look at the internet. And she shows the small child the internet that he could have done anyway. And shows him Mercy Black and he's like, oh, maybe you should be looking at this, you small boy. Don't look at that, oh. And you're like, oh, is she library woman? Is she creepy? She's a creepy library woman. Does she want to have sex with a little boy? Is she weird? Does she want to steal a little boy? Is this that Numi Rapace film? Angel of Mine? I don't think so. I don't think it's that good. So essentially for Mercy Black to work, which is like a made-up thing, supposedly, by the main girl and her friend Rebecca. You need to make an offering, social distancing really. You need to, so one of the girls gives it like a brooch, another one gives it like gloves, another one gives it like a hairband. You have to give it these things, and they've wrote a book about it. And there was a, what was, oh my god, there's so much fucking shit. You have to offer something to Mercy Black, because it takes away what hurts sad kids, but not for free. So the boyfriend also comes back at some point, and he sort of gets in the house. He's like, oh, the back door doesn't really have a lock, so he breaks in the house, and he sort of touches her thigh and says, oh, you should go on TV shows and tell your story, and we could make some money off this, because he wants to make money, because he's a true crime buff, you see. Buff Bagwell, true crime Buff Bagwell. And she accidentally like cuts him with the sander, and he runs away and like goes to kick the dog. And then in the next scene, the mum is like outside. She has like a sort of scratching. She goes into like the tool shed or whatever it is, and then like a bin falls over behind her, and then you find out that her dog's been killed and put in a bin. And you're like, all right, so the dog's dead. But I thought they were going to do that in Welcome to Mercy, because there's a cat, and normally in these horror films happens all the time. Paranormal Activity, The Prodigy, various things like that. The animals, usually the dogs die, and I thought, well, kitten was going to die because they said they were going to put it in the well, but that's not happened. Anyway, the dog dies, and the sister goes to confront the boyfriend in his house, and supposedly he's just put all these pictures up in his house without her knowing, even though they're going out with each other. You'd think she'd be around there beforehand, of all these pictures of like her sister and like things to do with Mercy Black. He's like, oh, I'm going to write a book about Mercy Black. You should say that your sister wrote it, and I'll write it, and we'll make so much money. And she's like, you're sick, that's my family, you can't. And you're like, well, fair enough. He's just trying to make some money. She leaves. She accuses him of stealing the dog. She sees all this weird shit on his walls about Mercy Black. And then she's like, fuck you, you piece of shit, cunt. Fuck the Tiger King, fuck Joe Exotic, blah, blah, blah. And she leaves, and he shouts my favourite line in the whole film. He shouts after her, have fun being poor. I like that, it made me laugh. And he gets killed by Mercy Black. And then there's a bit where Bryce thinks that Mercy Black's like in the vents of his bed. There's a bit where there's like the classic scene where all the kids can look under the bed. It's under the bed. No, it's not under the bed. Oh my god, it's not under the bed. Where is it? Oh, it's in the vents. So it's down in bed, starts screaming. And this is where you see another flashback. We see they made a book of rules. They cut off this girl's finger, and then they have to see if she's real, and they have to wash their hands in the river. And there's all this like backstory, like pointless, stupid backstory that's just basically like rip off of like the Slender Man story from Milwaukee. And you're like, Slender Man already had, where's my notes on that? The Slender Man film that came out that was terrible, by the way, probably worse than this, had a 10 to 28 million budget, which is vastly ridiculous, and made 51 million. This has no budget to speak of, and it's better than that. The main girl goes to meet her old friend Rebecca, who's the person that invented Mercy Black, or came up with the whole thing about Mercy Black. Goes to see her, and her mum's really weird. Her mum's actually like a not bad character. She's like really like weird and like happy and upbeat, like to a creepy degree. And she goes and sees her, and she's like, oh, I need to go and see your sister. And her sister's sitting there like an invalid, like the boy's shut in. And her mum goes away to make tea or something, and she's left there with Rebecca sitting there in the wheelchair. And she goes and stands about, and Rebecca turns her head around, and you're like, oh my god, she can move! Who would have thought she could move? And she turns round, and Rebecca and the main girl, what's her name? Madeline, whatever her fucking name is. Jurassic Park. Finds like a picture of her and the other two girls that were in the Mercy Black thing, and then a map drops out, and then the girl like attacks her, attacks her legs, and she's like, oh my god, who would have thought that was going to happen? And then her mum just like puts like a fucking sheet over her, like a blanket over her, and like tells her to shut up, and then the main character just runs away outside. You're like, alright, okay, cute. So Bryce has got like a sort of fat pal, who's like a dictum. He's like, your ma's seen more cockends than weekends. He's like, your ma's peeled more cocks and totties. Your ma's been banged more times in the taxi door. No wonder your dad didn't come back. And Bryce, possessed by Mercy Black, like puts a noose around his neck in a game and like hangs him, but attaches it to the door. And then the fat guy like shouts on his mum, and when she tries to open the door, basically if she opens the door too far, she'll hang him, but he's like too fat, like he'll just break anyway. And then Bryce's reasoning for all this was, she made me do it, which I think is like a reference to like the girls in the Slender Man thing. Slender Man made me do it, she made me do it, oh. Fucking hell. So this is after the main character's got this map, her pal Becca tried to attack her. She goes and finds the house that you cannot see, which is basically a bomb shelter, which is where Mercy Black is, and I have several complaints about this. She speaks to her sister, the main character speaks to her sister, and she's like, oh, what if I was right? What if everybody else was wrong? It's the sort of thing like a mad person might say. And she's like, what if she is real? What if she is real? What if you're all wrong? She might be mad. And her sister says the line like, she's like, oh, they searched that entire area and they couldn't find anything. And you're like, okay, what they couldn't find, and this is done in a flashback bit, because there's a bit where there's like a big bit of saw, a big double steel saw, like in a bit of wood. It's obviously flash forward to now, so it's been there for all this time, 15, 20 years, however long it is. And you're like, the only thing covering this bomb shelter door is some leaves, some dead leaves, because it's like in the autumn. That's what they couldn't find. They couldn't find a bomb shelter. That's it. How shit are the police? Did they even look? Or am I looking too much into Mercy Black? I am.
Two friends.
What if I didn't make this up? What if there really is something that is out there?
And also in this bomb shelter, there's like lots of like Christmas lights that leads round to like the bit where the Mercy Black is. And this is where the main character finds the Mercy Black paper mache mask that they made. She's like, oh, we made her, whatever it is. We made it, and we done this, we done that. It was all to do with this, which is we already know, like we already kind of like assume this. There's all these Christmas lights like down there, and you're like, time's meant to have passed. Like 10, 15 years or however long it's meant to be. And you're like, but these Christmas lights not burned out. How are they still lit? Is it for the power of Mercy Black? Like, how are they still lit? What are they connected to? Even if they're connected to like a power source, the bulbs would burn out. Dearie me. Then eventually we get to Bryce, draw Mercy Black, vanishes at the table, and then the mum gets a phone call from like a random policeman who we don't ever see. He's like, oh, by the way, your boyfriend is dead. Like they wouldn't tell you that on the phone, would they? They don't want you to come down to the station to tell you that. Oh, we can't find your missing sister, so come down because your boyfriend is dead. Oh, Bryce, you need to come down here. And she goes to meet some. Then there's lots of door slamming crap where, oh my god, Mercy Black's there, mum. No, she's not, son. Oh, I'm out here. Oh, he's in there. Oh, the door's slammed. Then she gets thrown down like over the balcony. Like she kind of looks around at the window. And it's like Mercy Black's like paper mache face at the glass going, and then she like falls over the banister somehow. She like does like a backflip and falls over the banister. Like it's not like the fucking Omen. You're like, what the fuck's going on? Anyway, so and then the main girl comes back after her gallivanting about in the woods, brings the mask back. She's like, oh my god, what's happened to you, sister? Oh, there's an ambulance. Oh, your boyfriend's dead. You're in hospital. Oh, and she's like, Mercy Black. And she goes and meets Bryce, Bryce has got the mask on, she brings Bryce the mask and says, this is what it is, it's made up, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Bryce puts the mask on, and then he looks behind, goes, looks behind her, the main character's sitting there, and it's like, oh god, she gets hit by something. Is it Mercy Black? Well, spoilers, it's Mercy Black. And the librarian, paedophile, random woman, is Lily, who is the girl that got her finger cut off by the invalid and the main character. 15, 20 years ago. And the psychiatrist woman who's on the phone was like, oh my god, she went off grid. We couldn't find her, blah blah blah. And you're like, oh for fuck's sake. And then she basically says that, oh, she's like, oh, you didn't sacrifice. Oh, gonna blah blah blah. And then they somehow go back to the bomb shelter. And the psychiatrist woman's there. And then Bryce and Thingy go down. She's like, she leaves the psychiatrist woman. She's like, if anyone can, then help. She could just phone the police there and then, but she doesn't. And then psychiatrist woman gets her throat slit by Lily, who's the librarian woman who's only got one finger. You're like, oh my god, she's only got one finger. Oh, it must be her. Ah. And then they have like a battle, and she stabs the main character in the chest. And then she's like, I'm gonna slit Bryce's throat, which I don't understand why she was gonna do that. Because she's like defending him for the whole film. Why did she need to kill him? What's he got to do? Thinking too much about Mercy Black. The sun's coming up now. It's very, very late. And there's a little monologue from Lily, who basically says the Mercy Black thing was invented to sort of give the main character something to believe in, to think that her mum was going to survive. And it's insinuated that Lily like killed her mum. She's like, I did do things to people. And she stabs her. And then she runs away and she's like, I'm going to slit Bryce's throat. She doesn't really talk like that, but kind of sounds like that. And there's the Mercy Black dolls like in the background of the bomb shelter thing. And it falls on her. And she's like trying to crawl away from this like paper mache wooden stick figure. Then it grabs her leg and then it turns out, oh my god, Mercy Black's real. Oh my god. And then it like screams in her face and she screams at it and it's got like things in its eyes. And then she takes the brooch off it and stabs it in the head. And then she runs away and she's still been stabbed in the chest and you're like, oh for fuck. This is the big climax. The climax of the film. Mercy Black. A film that was released on where's my thing? A film that was released on Netflix. What did it say? Released with no advance notice. That's what it says on its Wikipedia. And so we've got main character stabbed, and we've got Lily the woman with one finger missing, and we've got Bryce standing out above the bomb shelter, and there's like fog settling in, there's like a little lake. This is where they done the Mercy Blacks to start with.
Can you remember anything from that day?
And the main character like strangles Lily for a little bit, and then she stops and she's like, you want me to do this? And she's like, oh, I would have been a good sacrifice, blah 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 blah. And then Bryce like somehow like stabs her in the eye and it looks really like CGI like. CGI, get it? It's like that joke. It's like a joke. And stabs her in the eye, and then Mercy Black sort of floats behind them and sort of becomes flesh and blood, because that's the whole thing, that you need to make a flesh and blood sacrifice to turn him into flesh and blood. And then Mercy Black's paper mache face goes and a real eye pops out, and then it just goes to credits. And you're like, oh great. See all these notes? See all these things? The effort I put into fucking watching such two piles of absolute fucking shit. Tripe. Positives for Mercy Black. I can't come up with any. Really? Bog standard horror trope from Blumhouse. It's mildly more entertaining than Welcome to Mercy, just because it's shorter. It's not even an hour and a half, and it's not as long and boring. And if there was like, if the cure for like COVID-19 was like across the street, and I could see it, and at the same time I had to like rewatch Mercy Black for the third time. Because bear in mind, if I had to rewatch this again for this review, I wouldn't even get the cure for it because it's that bad. Why'd I do this to myself? I do it so you don't have to. Do not watch either of those films, please. There's much better ways to spend your time during the lockdown. I have no idea why I've done it. I must be a masochist of some kind. Do something good with your time, like play all 4 Uncharted games. But do not watch Mercy Black or Welcome to Mercy on Netflix. Please don't. Wash your hands. Stay safe. And do not watch Welcome to Mercy Black. Thank you for watching Cinema Slurs.
Thank you.